Did you know that your personality affects your wallet? Well, it does. Have you ever wondered why your best friend saves every penny, but you splurge on any vacation that you can? I wonder. Yes, it is because of your personality. Our personalities affect how we spend, how we budget. Everybody has unique financial savviness, unique financial styles, but it's not just from, what you've learned or who've taught you or what your experiences are. It comes from your personality. So let's get into different personality traits and how they affect you and what you can do to sort of balance that out so that you can have a healthy, financial relationship, healthy financial behavior. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, share this with anyone who needs to hear it, and stay to the end so you can get all of the tips, especially because these personality traits, they're on a spectrum. So we may have a little bit of each in us or a little bit of some, one or two here or there. So you want to kind of understand the full picture. Now let's get into it. Psychologists often talk about the big 5 personality traits, and they are openness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, agreeableness, and extroversion. Now let's get into the first one. First, we're going to talk about conscientiousness. People who are conscientious are disciplined, dependable, and organized, right? They are typically planners and savers, so they are already have that right personality to be good with their finances. However, remember that this is a spectrum, right? So you can be highly conscientious. You probably have all the good stuff. You're dependable, organized, you're disciplined, you're a saver, you're a planner, all that good stuff. But you could be on the spectrum. So you can be somewhere between that and the opposite of that. But if you find yourself high on the conscientiousness, that means that you are a budgeter, you're a saver, and you don't do too much impulse buying or impulse spending. And so therefore that is good for you. The only bad thing or the con to that is that you might not take advantage of lucrative investments because you are too safe, right? So there is a balance to be had there as well. Typically, you want to make sure that some of your investments are a little bit more aggressive and while the majority of them is probably safe. And depending on your age, that sort of changes over time. So if you're conscientious, kudos to you. But you also want to balance that with a little bit more aggressiveness, having a plan to get to your ultimate goal when you need it. So neuroticism is the second one. And when you are high on the neuroticism spectrum, you might be prone to anxiety, you might be prone to emotional instability. So because of that, you might find yourself stress spending, or you might be avoiding your finances altogether. And that's no good because obviously it's going to need to be dealt with at some point. So you want to find a balance with that. And a solution for that would be to have an automatic savings plan set up. I did that for myself because I definitely needed to have automatic savings. And it's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Like I've been super successful with that. So you just got to find the right thing that works for you. If you're someone who is anxious and, spending might have come as a way to sort of either calm that, you've maybe learned the wrong way to use spending as a way to calm your anxiety or whatever the case is. So now you can see it if it's happening and you can create things. We have so many tools nowadays that you can use to really help you sort of hack your life and hack your personality trait. So you can set up your automatic savings and your automatic bill pays as well if you can do so. That way, everything gets paid, everything gets taken care of, savings happen, all that good stuff, and then you can go ahead and, spend if you need to. This also helps you to remove the stressfulness of your spending and help you build confidence in your financial decision making. Next is extroversion. So being an extrovert, right? We always hear about extroverts, and they're typically known as the ideal personality type or personality trait. And again, this is a spectrum, right? But people who are high extroverts, they might spend more because they are social, and they might spend more on social activities and doing things with friends, etc., etc. However, this, interestingly enough, can lead to networking opportunities, right? Because you're so social and you're spending time out, you're spending time with others, you never know when different opportunities might come. So although they are spending more in the immediate, it's almost like an investment because it can lead to more social economics, I guess, more social opportunities that allows them to grow their wealth, right? So people who are highly extroverts are good in careers like sales because they, their personality, it's really, what they do, right? And sales is meeting people, talking to people, having lunches, going to events and things like that is at the heart of sales. So that might be something that's good for somebody who is an extrovert. So essentially, extroverts can use their personality as leverage, right, to be a financial strength in the long run. But again, you want to balance that, right? You don't want to be overly spending socially and at things that are not going to give you those opportunities, that are not going to put you in places where you might see a return from your investment. Then we have agreeableness. Agreeable individuals are kind and they tend to put the needs of others in front of theirs, and that could also trickle into their financial life, right? They're putting everybody's needs in front of theirs, and so they're neglecting their finances or their financial needs by either saying yes to others, not negotiating salaries, just trying to be, liked by everyone, right? It's also sort of like a people-pleasing type of personality. So if you're agreeable, you want to think about things like saying no more often, or saying no to lending money, things like that, things that are going to harm you financially just because you want other people to like you or what have you. So you want to sort of balance that out with learning how to say no a little bit more. And I read a good book about helping you to know when you should be saying no or not feeling bad about saying no, understanding that it's normal, and empowering you when you need to say no and knowing when to say no, all the things. So it is called Boundaries. I don't have the title top of mind, but if you look at it, the book cover has like a pen writing on a paper. It's called Boundaries. It's really helpful with all aspects of understanding how to set proper boundaries, and that way you're not totally just putting yourself last and allowing everything else to come first, and then you find yourself depleted and left with nothing, right? So a way to balance that is learning how to say no and using resources such as books to help you learn that skill, because it is a skill and it does sometimes take time if you're high on the agreeableness scale, which was me basically. So this book had helped me to also find that balance, right? And it's not going to feel good most of the time, right? People don't like to say no, and they don't like when people tell them no and things like that. But you have to understand that it's a part of life, and you do learn how to deal and cope with that feeling, even though, it doesn't feel good sometimes to say no. And lastly, we have openness as a personality trait, right? So people who are open, they tend to be more creative. They tend to have an affinity for adventure and excitement and things of that nature. So what that ends up looking like is they are natural risk takers. They are willing to take risks and seek out opportunities. They might invest in startups and things like that because they are open to whatever is to come. So people who are open, they will be easy to change careers, to do unconventional investments, which is all good and well. However, you want to make sure, if you're somebody who's open, that you're not really putting all of your eggs in one basket. You really need to diversify so that if one of your investments do not go the right way, you'll still be able to live to invest another day. You're not losing it all. And we know with high risk, there is high reward, but it's also high risk, right? So we want to make sure that you're being balanced and you are not putting everything at stake. So to sum it all up, these personality traits will play a part in your financial behavior. And now that you know you may be one of these, or you may have bits and pieces of each, you can decide how to create your own financial behavior, sort of like structure or routine, so that you can help yourself to be the most profitable or have the best financial outlook that you can. Now, let me know in the comments if this has resonated with you. What financial personality type are you? Have you put in any tools or any things to sort of help you sort of regulate this? Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you for listening, and I'll see you next time.